Okay, so this video is going to be a tutorial on running a VNG and the directions that you give your patient in doing that. So what we're going to do in the software, we're going to click our begin testing to start our testing, and we've got our patient's eyes here on the screen. If I hover over the top, I can center her eyes on the screen, so I'm just going to have her stare at the green dot that is on the screen there. Another thing to note is we have in our VNG room a way to lower and raise the table, so we just want to make sure that they're in line with the dot vertically, but as well as horizontally to make sure that she's completely centered. The next thing I'm going to do is click this little toggle here so that I can add some contrast and just make sure that these little plus signs are locked onto the pupil so that when I start recording, the tracings are very clear. If for whatever reason you can't, you can turn off an eye as needed. Okay, so let's start with calibration. So I'm going to click calibration. Whatever is highlighted in white on this side is what's happening next. So I'll hit calibration and we're going to give her directions. So what you'll tell the patient, keep your head still, just follow that dot with your eyes as it bounces around on the screen. And so she's going to do that. Yes. Right, so she's following that dot as it bounces around on the screen. So it's going side to side, it goes up and down, and the goal is to get good calibration where everything is checked off, so we're good to go. So we will accept and close. From here, we're going to run the next test, so our random saccade test. So again, I'm going to tell her keep your head still and just follow that dot as it bounces around on the screen. And so she's going to do the same thing. Now for this recording, I'm just going to record part of it so you can see it. But when you're running this on your patients, we run the entire length of the protocol. You'll see on the right side here, we've got some of our measures of latency, velocity, and accuracy. Every time she shifts her gaze, we're getting points. And this line in the middle is your average. And so as long as everything's in the white section here, we are normal. So again, run it the whole time with your patient, but we're going to stop here. Then we're going to click next to move on to the next protocol, which is smooth pursuit. So this time you'll tell the patient, keep your head still and follow that dot as it moves smoothly side to side. And so she's going to do that here. So we see a smooth sinusoidal wave for this part. It will start popping little dots over here on our graph as well. This one starts pretty slow, and so as she's tracking it on the TV screen left to right, again, you'll see this wave and you'll see these dots. And so we want it all to be in this white section. As it picks up speed here, these sinusoidal waves will get closer and closer together. Another thing to note throughout the entire recording is the yellow line, that's going to be the dot moving, and then you'll have red and blue lines to signify the red or the right and the left eyes as we're tracking. And so we're looking at gain and symmetry here, and everything is looking really great for this patient. Again, everything's in the white section and we're getting very symmetrical responses. All right, this next one, she's going to see trains on the screen, and it's going to be our optokinetic testing. And so what I'll tell them to do, very simple here, just watch the trains as they move by, and she'll keep her head still for this as well. So just a little bit, we're triggering nystagmus here, and so you'll see your gain values pop up over here on the right. I'll stop it for our purposes here, and you'll do the same on the right side. So then she'll go and she'll do the same thing, but now the trains are moving to the right. And we see our nystagmus, which is expected. So now we're going to click next, and we're going to do gaze testing. Excuse me. For this first part, she's just going to stare at the dot in the center. And again, all these conditions so far are vision enabled. So she's able to look at this dot on the screen. It will make you run 10 seconds before this stop button will light back up so that we can stop our testing. The next one, it starts in the middle. She's going to shift her gaze to the left at 2 seconds, and the dot moves on the TV screen. Again, we have to run at least 10 seconds. You can certainly run longer and add more time as needed in any of these tests. Now we're going to have her shift her gaze to the right and follow that dot again after 2 seconds. Depending on where you go, the order of these tests might be a little bit different. And then we'll stop. And again, we're going to go up towards the top. So she's going to start in the middle and then look up after 2 seconds. So again, you're seeing the head motion in yellow and the eye motion right and left with red and blue lines. And again, we'll just stop for purposes of this video. And then we'll click Next. All right, so this one we're going to put the patient in a vision denied condition. So we'll put the cover over the goggles and then we're going to record. So we're going to start our recording here. She's vision denied, and so all we really have her do is stare straight ahead for the first part. You can have her shift her gaze around a little bit as needed. And she's looking around right here, but you can give specific directions on whether you want her to look straight ahead or if you want her to shift her gaze. So we could say look to the left. Good. Again, you want them to keep their head still. Look to the right. And look up towards your forehead. So we can just get some different motions in a vision denied condition to compare to the vision enabled.